Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to what is hopefully the last of the Disney holiday vacation podcasts. I'm back here with Shawn again, and just as another reminder, remember, these are mostly for our benefit, to help us remember our vacation, because we don't take very many pictures and stuff like that. Also, sometimes, we swear or something like that, so if you've got a problem with that, then, now's your time to click away.
And also, sometimes people live in our house and they make noise, so that'll happen from time and again.
Yes. So, with that being said, where do we want to start this one off? Do we want to go straight into EPCOT or talk about some of the other things?
EPCOT. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and start strong with EPCOT, and then we'll kind of just finish up with all the other things. Because there actually is quite a few other things to talk about in this one, but most of them are fairly small compared to the actual parks. Things like our hotel and transportation and just kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, so EPCOT is one of my favorite parks. I love the idea behind it. I love the initial idea behind it. But I also just like what the park is now. And for those of you who don't know, I kind of hinted at it in the last few podcasts. EPCOT, which is the letters EPCOT, is the letters for
Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And it was a dream of Walt's.
I'm surprised I remember that.
It was a dream of Walt's to build this community that people could actually live in.
Like an actual town.
Yeah. City. And just to be built with modern technology and...
always be on the forefront of new technologies. Specifically from America. I think that's mostly just to encourage Americans to...
American business
to keep...
an economy and such.
Innovating, because we haven't really done that.
But... And it's just, I really recommend, looking up some of the ideas that Walt had for this city, because it was built with the idea of it being a city. So it had, a huge city center in the middle where everyone would go to work, and then it branched out in, a
flower
wheel, spokes on a wheel into suburban areas and stuff like that, and it's really cool.
And the way you get to the suburban areas, or to and from the suburban areas to the main hub of this EPCOT, was the people movers. That was supposed to be the main way of getting to work.
Yeah.
It's such a shame that never turned out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the company, Walt Disney Company, did not
fought Walt continuously on this until he finally died, and then they scrapped the whole idea.
Yeah, and then instead built Disney World on top of where EPCOT was supposed to go, which is really sad, but who says that
it would have actually worked?
Yeah, EPCOT very, very well might have bankrupted the Walt Disney Company, and we wouldn't have had the Disney Company as it is today, but it's still really interesting.
Yeah, Disney might have stopped existing in the 60s or early 70s. Yeah. Just imagine all those Disney movies we grew up on. None of those would exist.
Yeah, animation itself may not be in the same place without that.
Yeah, you're right, because DreamWorks wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Or most other companies.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, it's interesting to think what that city could have been like, but we're not going to talk too much more about that. We're going to talk about what they did do with EPCOT.
Yeah, so instead, now Disney World built a park that is EPCOT, and it's, an homage to Walt's old dream. And it's nothing like how the city is supposed to be. It's just a theme park. But it does have the World Showcase, which is so cool and just makes me so happy.
And the front, EPCOT's divided into two halves. The front half has a bunch of actual rides and things where you can go and learn recycling lessons from Pumbaa and Timon, and other kind of silly things like that, but there are some neat rides and stuff like that. But yeah, then there's the World Showcase based around a giant lake in the back where you actually walk around tourist versions of all these different countries and stuff. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I guess on our first day, we actually skipped right over the first half and like didn't do any of the rides. We went right into the World Showcase.
Well, because it was really fairly early in the morning because we had gotten home from
the last
park early enough, and then we went to EPCOT and World Showcase fairly quickly in the morning, and
I mean, it was 11 by the time we got there, but you know,
we were there good enough time. But what was also going on while we were there was
the Food and Wine Festival.
That was horrible. Apologize right now.
I am sorry for my outrageous French accent.
No.
Yes, the
Food and Wine Festival.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know what that is, there is like foods from all over the world, or themed foods from all over the world, and they are at different places around the World Showcase, and even they have some places serving food that aren't even countries at the World Showcase.
Yeah, I mean, there's like around 10-ish countries in the World Showcase, and on a normal basis, that's the only things you're going to get. And these are like big things like the United Kingdom and Italy and Mexico and stuff like that. But with the Wood and Fine Festival.
You're already great with words.
Yes! With the Food and Wine Festival, you get like probably an additional 20 or so.
I don't know about that many, but there's a lot.
There's a lot.
It like doubles the amount of countries.
No, I'd say there's a good 20 more. Yeah, just looking at this map, they're all marked. So, yeah, I would say there's probably a good another 20 or so locations to go get food from all throughout the world.
Like the first place we went to.
Yes, but like each of these little things has fairly small sampling sizes of all these different foods. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to go to South Korea and I'm going to get a whole pile of curry or something.
Right, like don't
You'll
go
get
to
like
that expecting to get a meal.
You'll get like a sampling size, which I'd say for most people, 2 or 3 of these samplings is probably about a meal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you eat a lot, then maybe 4 or 5, but I mean, you really don't need a whole lot of these to like actually create a giant meal for yourself.
Right.
So for the most part, you're just going to run around and sample things and
I have to say, it was pretty affordable. Like, the first day we were there, because we were at EPCOT for 2 days, and the first day we were there, we were kind of like, okay, you know what? We've been doing really good about spending money. Today, we really just want to try some of this food at the Food and Wine Festival, and we're not going to pay as much attention to how much we spend. And by the time we got to the end of the day, I was feeling a little worried, because I was like, oh man, we stopped at a lot of places and got food. I wonder how this will be. But we actually
spent about the same amount as we had some of the previous days.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, those were some of our slightly more expensive days, but they weren't crazy by any means. I mean, like $40, maybe $50.
Yeah, for both of us to eat the entire day.
It was like, that's pretty reasonable.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, I guess we didn't say about what the prices of these things were. They'd probably range from like $4 to like $6.50, sometimes $7, depending on what the food is.
I mean, the only things that were $7 were things like lobster.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff, which we didn't
super expensive foods from these different countries are the ones that are like really high. Normally, that's not going to be a big issue.
We also don't drink, so we didn't try any of the wines.
Yes, we didn't try wine or beer or sake or any other. Yes, yeah, no rum for us.
But we did eat quite a bit of the food. We're also kind of picky eaters, so there were some things that were just like, I have no idea what this is on this menu.
So I'm just gonna skip right
skipped it.
over it. Yeah,
And we were actually full after eating like a few of them.
We're 4 or 5 were like, I'm kind of good for now. Let's just walk and look at stuff for a while.
But the first place we got something.
Yeah, so the first thing we did is we walked past half the park. We walked to the very back of the entire park so that we could go to Belgium.
And get Belgian waffles.
Yes.
Oh, these were so good.
I mean, they're kind of your standard fare waffles, but they came with whipped cream and the most delicious, berry sauce with real berries that were obviously incredibly fresh. It was so tasty.
These berries had not been in a fridge for more than 5 hours, kind of fresh.
Yeah. It's they were obviously cooled for a bit, but these
and the waffles were nice and warm.
Oh yeah, I mean that first day those were just freshly made because that was right when they opened up that part of the park at 11 o'clock. So we were the second people in line for the Belgian waffles the first day. I mean, spoilers, on our second day, we went back and got more.
Yeah, we liked them so much. And the first day, we would just get one of something and share it so that we could taste test it.
Second day, we both got one.
Yes, the second day, we both got our own separate order of the Belgian waffles because they were so good.
Yeah, and I mean, these were actually really affordable. They were only $3.75 each.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, they're pretty small. I would say about as far around as a baseball.
Something like that. It's the bigger. Size of your fist kind of waffle.
Yeah, I mean, nothing extravagant, but it was very good. Delicious. So,
what did we do after that?
From there, we just kind of walked.
Yeah, then we just started making our way more slowly around.
So, right there next to it was Morocco.
Ooh, and I got something else at Morocco. Here, EPCOT actually also, during the Food and Wine Festival, gives you a little booklet that they say is your food passport.
Yeah, and you can mark down. It has all the different foods that you can find at all these different food and wine kiosks. And so you can mark which ones you ate at and specifically which foods you ate. It's very nice. So we marked which ones we actually ate at. I think it goes the other direction.
Stickers.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we ate at Belgium and then we went to Morocco.
And I had the kefta pocket. Kefta?
Kefta, something like that.
Kefta pocket, and it was seasoned ground beef in a pita pocket. And I've never, a lot of this was new stuff for me. I never had a pita pocket before, but this was also really good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have as much of this one because I was looking forward to our next stop. But I had a bite or two, and it was very good. I was
the beef is what really impressed me.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Really good.
It was really good. It's very fine, and it had a delicious, the spices or whatever they used in it. Very good. I liked it.
And it had onions or something like that in it too, just to help season it. And the pita pocket was good as well. I'd never had it before, but I like it.
There was some sort of green veggie in there that I don't know the name of, but is a good seasoning. I would say it's some sort of onion, but I'm not sure because I'm bad at this. Yeah, so we walked through Morocco, which, for those unaware, it's the Middle East, essentially, sort of.
Yes.
I'm not the best at geography. I mean, I'm better than most, but I don't know specific names and stuff.
Well, and all the actual places in the World Showcase were really cool because it's there's kind of a smaller area up front near the lake, and then there's as you kind of walk into shops, because they are mostly shopping areas.
Yeah, a lot of the World Showcase, there's not really any rides in the World Showcase specifically. It's more so you walk around, you look at the cool architecture stuff that they put up.
But that's what I was going to say, is that they match the architecture of the place that you're at in the world really well. And especially once you walk back, so you're not seeing the lake anymore.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah, it's like, this is really neat. And
I
like,
could almost imagine I'm actually in this place.
You're all surrounded by the architecture of that place.
I guess I'll say, because I have actually traveled around the world a few times.
You've been a few places.
Around the world a few specific times at different locations. Like, I've been to England, Ireland, Wales, Italy, briefly, Spain, and China. Mm-hmm. I would say, from my guess, wow.
Words.
A lot of these places felt like it would be a tourist trap location. So if you're a fairly normal tourist in one of these countries, you're going to get about the same feel from that touristy area as you would here at EPCOT. That's my guess, because when we went to the China section, where I've spent 4 weeks on two different occasions, 2 weeks each, it felt very much so like their tourist areas
yes.
when I was there. So I'm guessing that's kind of how all of these places represent each of the different places.
Well, and interesting fact too is the people who worked.
Oh yes.
At the different.
So yeah, there's
there's
the different countries, and all the workers that they have here are actually natives to all the different countries. So when you go to Norway, you have people from Norway and nearby
who are actually working,
like they're
all the shops and stuff.
They'll work all the shops and the rides if there happen to be any in those areas, because there are a couple of rides here and there. And we heard somebody talking to one of the shopkeepers in China specifically, and apparently they were on like a 1-year workers permit to be here in America. And so I was wondering, is that a good deal? I mean, for a year you get to go work at Disney in a kind of like really showy, weird version of your country. But I thought about it, I was like, that's probably about the same as working in a tourist trap in your own country. So you get to do that, but then you also get to explore America on your days off. So it's probably okay.
And there's probably a lot of perks to doing it as well.
I mean, we didn't really look too much into it.
Yeah.
But it's probably fine. And I mean, it's definitely neat for the people that go to EPCOT and experience all these people. I think it's fun.
And you're also surrounded by other people who are doing similar things. So I mean, talk about connections and stuff that you can make.
Yes.
That'd be kind of neat.
Around the world connections.
Yeah. So, okay.
Anyways, going back to our journey. Yeah, Morocco.
Morocco, and then we hit Japan.
Yeah, right after that is Japan, because, those are right next to each other. But yeah, I am a big fan of Japan.
So you tried some of the food at the Japan kiosk, and
I tried the spicy sushi roll. I'll note here, I have only had crappy sushi at
crappy Chinese restaurants.
At crappy Chinese buffets before, so I have had very little experience with sushi, so I wanted to try some real sushi. So I had the spicy sushi roll. I don't like spicy things.
It was kind of...
It's not what I was expecting. It wasn't bad, but I'd probably not get it again, mainly for the fact that I'm not a spicy person.
It was one of those things where even though you necessarily didn't like it, you could tell that it was good. Yeah,
it's one of those things that's like, I'm sure people that like spicy things would love this. I personally don't, and I would love to try some other sushi that's not spicy.
But they didn't have many options there.
No,
they had that,
there was...
What else was there?
At the specific kiosk, they also had shrimp, which I don't like shrimp, and spicy edamame, so not really a whole lot. Yeah. There were a couple of other actual kiosks in Japan where they sold other sushi, but we never actually made it back around, so we didn't get any more.
That being said, we spent a lot of time in Japan because they had a whole shopping center that was basically just nerd central.
Well, it actually transitioned very well throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the front part of this, the shopping center, was all of the young culture, all the Pop Japan straight from Tokyo.
There was just like a wall of Pokemon plushes.
Yeah, a wall of Pokemon plushes. There was like Naruto next to Bleach, maybe a couple Bleach things, but next to Dragon Ball Z and Attack on Titan and Zelda and Full Metal Alchemist and a Kingdom Hearts hoodie.
Along with a Kingdom Hearts t-shirt that had the same design on it.
Yeah, so Tennille picked that up.
Yeah.
Because this was the only Kingdom Hearts thing we found in the entire
park,
in all of the parks, except for the pin. Yeah. And I guess for those curious, the design was a glowing...
I can see if I can find it somewhere and put it up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could also just take
a picture of it.
Yeah.
Stop.
There we go. It's on the screen. That's what it looked like. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty neat design.
Yeah.
I like it. And,
but I got it.
Yeah, she got it, so I didn't get it because we had already copied each other in most of our clothes already of our shopping.
You did get a cool shirt.
Yes, I did get a cool shirt as well. And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, after we got done... So, yeah, it starts with all the super nerdy stuff, and then there's, like, a glass... wall with a whole bunch of Gundams.
Cells? The cells?
Not there yet, but there was like a bunch of different Gundams and other various
like
action figures from various anime and stuff that I'm not that well versed in. Mm-hmm. But it's like, that's some pretty cool stuff, and that's pretty expensive. I'm sure that'd be very nice to have. But then on the other side of that, there were actual animation cells from Ghibli films.
Yes.
And you could buy pretty much every single Studio Ghibli film there as well. Mm-hmm. And there was just a whole, like, section that was just Ghibli paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
And they had, like, like, the cells would be, like, the finished cells, and then they'd have, like, the background on there, too. Mm-hmm. So it was, like, a finished frame from the movie, and, yeah, those run for, like, $1,000 or more.
Oh, very expensive.
But they were gorgeous, and we just looked at them, and, like,
it's like,
a tear went down my eye.
I want that so bad.
And also, they had a bunch of art books and stuff there, too.
Yes, there's art books for every single Ghibli film, I think. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was really cool. And, like, the farther you get back in, there was then, like, cooking stuff, and then your traditional touristy Japanese clothing that have, like, samurai on it, and other ninja stuff, and super hokey stuff, and then you get farther back, and it has more like traditional
Lucky
things.
Cats and, and stuff like
Lucky
that.
Cats, and more you start getting more traditional, and then there's a section that has swords, of course. Mm-hmm. Gotta get them katanas. And there's somewhere in the back there was also a spot where you could get yukatas, which is very nice. And then there's, like, at the very back there was, like, foodstuffs, like Japanese candies and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. I'd almost forgotten about that.
And very randomly there was a little, like, museum showcase type thing about kawaii culture.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, and then there was this statue in the middle.
Of, like, melting candy or something.
Yeah.
It was like an anime girl, but she was melting and see-through, and she was just filled with plastic.
I'll see if I can find a picture of that, too, and put it up, because it's
really
hard to explain.
Weird. And, I mean, it very much so was kawaii, and I didn't know that the term kawaii culture was a thing. I thought kawaii things just kind of existed. But then they
had a whole little section just kind of explaining the history of it,
like where it came from, and how a lot of it stems back from Astro Boy and the creator who got the idea for the giant eyes from Disney's Bambi.
Well, and Mickey Mouse.
It's like he looked at a lot of really old Disney stuff and like, I could do that too, which then he made Astro Boy, who has the big anime eyes, and that just kind of started the ball rolling. Yeah. Which is really neat. And it has like...
It's interesting. It's interesting to know that both American and Japanese animation came from the same place, and yet how they've evolved so differently.
Oh, yeah. And it's like you can just see how they reflect and bound off of each other continuously.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, though, after
Japan, I mean, it was sad to go, but there's a lot to see, so we had to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
Italy, right?
No. American Adventure, but I'm trying to remember if there was a food stand in between Japan and American Adventure.
It should be right here if there was one. I don't think, no, Tennille. Like, this actually shows.
Okay, yeah.
The next one we stopped at was Germany, so that's a while ago. Ways to go.
Yeah, okay.
But there was America with a bunch of American stuff. With America.
We
skipped
walked
it.
through the shops a little bit. Otherwise, we skipped it because, we're from America. So
we're from America. We live in a tourist trap, so.
And there's already stuff at Disney like Liberty Square and things. So you've already seen the good, American tributes. At Disney.
We were good. We just kept moving.
And we didn't go to the show either. That's the American Adventure show.
I don't care.
We skipped that. So then we got into Italy.
Italy, yes. That was neat. I mean, we just kind of looked around. Was this where I don't remember what was here.
This is where a lot of the statues were.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it had a lot of, Italian-based architecture and such.
Mm-hmm. And, when you walked back, there was also, I want to say, the mosaics?
Was that here?
Maybe?
Oh, man. It's starting to bleed together a little bit. Unfortunately, It's been a little bit longer since we recorded the last two.
Yeah.
So we're
For you guys, it'll probably be, a day after each other, so...
mostly back-to-back, but for us, it's been a week since we recorded the last two, so we're trying to remember as best we can. I don't think we're going to miss anything important.
Mm-hmm.
So Italy was neat. And then next up was...
Yeah, because Italy came back this way.
I think there was just, some foodstuffs back there, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there was, the different, restaurants and stuff back there. And, that's why we mostly skipped it, because it was expensive restaurants, of course.
And we were already kind of full at this point.
Yeah, so we were like, well, that's too bad. But...
Yeah, and, I mean, each of these places kind of had, their own little shops with Italian-based stuff or such and such, so we might not make light of all of it, and I don't remember a whole lot of the Italian stuff. I think there might have been some glass stuff here. I don't really remember.
Okay.
Next up, we got to Germany.
Yeah.
Where you actually had something. Or
I did?
We did.
Oh, yeah. And I wanted to come back here to try the bratwurst, but never made it back there.
No, but we did get the apple strudel with vanilla sauce.
And that was good.
It was all right.
Anything too special.
No.
But, I mean... It was an apple strudel, and it was fresh, and it tasted good. The vanilla sauce was good. But it wasn't like the other things where it was like, wow, that blew my expectations out of the water.
Mm-hmm. And Germany had a lot of beer culture stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
and it had a lot, of course, of the Disney princess stuff that takes place in Germany.
Yeah.
So
I guess there is a little... For the most part, EPCOT is not influenced by Disney iconography as much. Here and there are some meet and greets. Back in Morocco, you can actually meet Aladdin and Jasmine.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was mostly just the culture, the actual culture of these countries, which is neat. So yeah, there's beer culture stuff and there was some other stuff there. Maybe this is where the glass was.
Yeah, there was the glass crafting and different stuff like that.
And that was neat.
Yeah.
A lot of tiny Disney characters made in glass and a $10,000 Disney castle encrusted in diamonds.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it stood a good foot tall or something like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So
after
Germany,
that...
Oh, and then there's
the
this little...
African section, which isn't actually named on the...
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a single kiosk for all of Africa.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
I mean, fair enough.
Okay, fine. But yeah, you got to see like the little African stuffs.
There was a lot of like wood carving. There was someone carving there.
Yeah, there was actually a guy sitting there like carving some stuff. It was like a walking stick or anything. Yeah, but I mean, there was like the wooden dyed elephants and giraffes and stuff like that. That I guess I've experienced quite a bit. For some reason, there's a large influx of that stuff in this area.
Yeah. But I guess I just want to emphasize, even though we're kind of rushing, not even rushing through some of these places, we spent like a good hour or two just getting to this point.
Yeah, we're kind of moving a little quickly, but yeah, we spent the majority of a day. Like the first day was pretty much
just spent at the
World Showcase. We spent an entire day at the World Showcase, not even really getting into the rest,
world.
Like the future world, which is the like more theme parky stuff at the front.
Yeah, it's just, when we say it, it's like, oh yeah, there's this and that, but it's like there's actually just a lot to look at, and like I said in the other podcast, I really appreciate those kind of areas.
It's difficult to just explain it all. And then we get into China.
Which had the Mulan meet and greet. Yeah, there's a Mulan.
Yeah, apparently she was showing up about the time we left, but we didn't stick around to see her. And yeah, I was kind of miffed because there really wasn't any Mulan stuff anywhere else, and I really, really enjoy Mulan, and it holds a special place in my heart and stuff. I also have 4 Chinese siblings, so that might be part of it.
Yeah.
But it's also just a very strong story. Yeah, so China was neat. I mean, I've seen most of the Chinese paraphernalia before. Obviously, I've been there twice. So, I guess, what did you think of it?
I mean, I've been to EPCOT before,
okay, that's true.
But yet again, that's like, I enjoy the changes in architecture and seeing everything. And here they had the big koi pond. Yeah. And you could, like, walk around and like the rock gardens and stuff too, and that was really neat.
Yeah, it's
pretty.
Words.
So actually, after that was Norway.
Yeah, but before we get to Norway, there was actually another kiosk for Australia.
Oh yeah.
And Tennille at this location got the grilled lamb chop with mint pesto. What did I say?
Chalk.
Did I say chalk?
That's what it sounded like.
Grilled lamb chop with mint pesto and potato crunchies.
It was, like, I know we've said this already for all the food, but it was really good. Like they just gave you this little lamb, and it was like still on the bone, and lamb's so good. If you've never eaten lamb before, lamb is like such good meat, but. It's like, it's just this little lamb chop, and you could just chew it right off the bone, and it was so tender. I didn't care very much for the pesto.
The mint pesto?
Mint pesto on top, but the potato chips were good, and
crunchies.
The crunchies, whatever. You could kind of, like, scrape the pesto off. But man, that lamb was worth it.
I'll take your word for it.
Because, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was tender and it, like, melted in your mouth.
The bite I had was pretty good as well.
Yeah, it was just, like, not swimming in butter, but it's, like, it had a nice buttery flavor to it as well. It's making my mouth water just thinking about it.
Nice. Okay, so, yeah, and then we got into Norway. For those who don't really know... This is where
a lot of Frozen stuff was.
Yeah, because Frozen takes place in Norway.
Over by Frozen.
It used to be known as Viking Land. Now it's Frozen Land. There's actually a little
Frozen ride.
A Frozen ride, which used to be like a boat ride thing.
It used to be a little Viking ride, and
then they changed it to Frozen.
Yeah.
We didn't ride it because it had an hour wait.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I remember going on this ride last time I was here. I wonder what these changes are. And so I was like, well, you know, if we get the chance to ride it, we'll ride it. No, every single time we passed it, it was like an hour and 20 minutes.
It was ridiculous.
I was like, no, I'm not waiting 120 minutes just for...
Let It Go Again.
Yeah, just to hear Let It Go Again.
Because we've already experienced Let It Go like
I'm
4 times.
Sure that song was going to be in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that in general, people are kind of pissed that they switched the Viking ride out for Frozen. So...
Yeah, I mean, there was still definitely Viking stuff to buy. And was this where they had, like, the weird Nordic gnome troll things? I think so. They were kind of creepy looking. It's either here or Germany, and they're kind of weird looking, but that was very much so the culture.
I forget.
Yeah, but it was... I mean, it looked pine tree and stuff.
Pine tree.
Log shacks and such.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and there was also, like, Elsa, Anna and Elsa meet and greet there and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that place was pretty crowded, too, in general.
Oh, yeah.
So
there
we
was
were like,
a lot more kids here than in many of the other areas because it's a Frozen location.
Yeah, so
because there's spoilers, there's not really a whole lot necessarily for kids to do at this part of Epcot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely more so for older audiences, which I think is perfectly okay.
Yeah, it's nice to have
not screaming children
areas
everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
After that, we got to Mexico. Mexico, yes.
And there was the 3 Caballeros boat ride.
Yes, which is pretty nice, except I think it got a little stalled up there for a little bit. We got stopped at the end for a long period of time.
It's one of those rides that goes through continuously, and so if people are slow getting out of their boats, then it can kind of back up the ride, I think.
Yeah, because we sat there next to the 3 Caballeros as they said goodbye to us for 5 minutes before we got past them.
I don't even think it was that long.
It felt kind of long.
They just went through the loop a couple of times.
Yeah, and it was like a minute loop.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was neat.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 Caballeros...
There's nothing special really about it, but I mean, it's a nice thing, especially after you've been walking around World Showcase for that long. It's like, this is a nice little thing, and it's all indoors because Mexico has a big
pyramid,
Mayan temple kind of area where
Mayan
you can
or
go
Aztec,
in.
I'm not sure which. But it's a big...
Incan.
Yeah,
one of those 3.
One of the ancient cultures. It's a big pyramid, and you go inside, and then it's like outside festival party at night inside there. And there's like a restaurant.
And they had a bunch of Day of the Dead stuff.
Because it turns out we were actually there on the Day of the Dead, supposedly.
I think. I assume. Because they had special stuff up for Day of the Dead. So. Yeah,
which I feel like it was. If we were there on the 1st or 2nd
of November.
Yeah, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And if one of those days is the Day of the Dead this year, then we were there on the Day of the Dead. Yeah. I'm not terribly up on my Mexican holiday dates, so I'm not sure for sure. But I felt like I saw a sign there that said it was that day specifically. So if it was, that's cool. If not, they still have the stuff there, and it's cool to look at because they had painted skulls and.
Well, and it was funny because right before we noticed it, I was like, I wonder if Disney has some sort of celebration here during Day of the Dead, and then we saw the little Day of the Dead stuff, and we're like, oh,
that might be it.
Yeah.
And and then they had the little Mexican crafted animals things. I don't made out of the soft wood. Which is really neat. I've actually got one of those.
They also had giant sombreros you could buy.
Oh yeah, they had the giant doofy sombreros that 3 people could sit underneath. Because of course they did. But yeah, the little painted figurine animals and stuff that are always awesome to look at. I really like those. I don't know if they have a technical term. If they do, I don't know. But they had a 2-foot praying mantis.
Yeah.
Of that style. It was really cool looking. It was I think the base color was red with like pinks and yellows all over it. Yeah. It was very cool looking. I liked it a lot. So we didn't eat anything there, but it was really cool to go through that area.
Well, right after that, we did eat somewhere. We ate at the
Farm Fresh, which was just kind of American food, farm food. And I got the loaded mac and cheese with brand name pepper bacon, cheddar cheese, peppers, and green onions.
And I only had a couple bites of this because this one was mostly for you since I had
the last 2 things or so.
Yeah,
but it was very good.
Yeah, the bite I had, I was like, "Ooh, this is good," and and that was one of the things I thought about maybe going back and getting.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good mac and cheese with bacon bits in it, and then maybe a little bit too much of the green onions, but I liked it quite a bit. I'm not. Again, we're fairly picky eaters, but it was very good. I liked it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then there's still about half a World Showcase, but we didn't go to that because that's back on the other side of the lake. Mm-hmm. We kind of did some more of the Future World East side stuff.
Did we?
Yeah, because we got back over to the lake, like to the front of the lake, and then we went back and did some of these. But it had like Test Track.
Okay.
And Ellen's Energy Adventure.
I mean, I'll take your word for it. Do we just want to go ahead and knock out the rest of the World Showcase while we're here, just for
because
convenience sake, and then we'll talk about Future
there's
World,
like 3 countries left. So
yeah, I mean, it'll take us like no time at all.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
kind of back at the other side of World Showcase, then there's Canada.
Canada, we completely skipped Canada.
Around a little bit.
Yeah, we walked around the shop a little bit. I mean, apparently they have like a 20-minute ride in there that's kind of like just a movie.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I feel like I know enough about Canada. I didn't really need to.
It's like a big amphitheater and it shows like scenery and such.
Yeah. So we looked at the Canadian tourist stuff, which has got like a lot
totem poles and stuff there.
Mm-hmm. And
I did have
one of the most obnoxious things was like Canadian country band was
playing there quite a bit, which was another reason we skipped it.
Yeah, we walked by this place a lot and just kept moving because I don't like country, and Canadian country is about the same.
Not much better, sorry. I did, though, right before one of the fireworks shows we sat and watched, I did go there and I got their cheddar cheese soup served with a pretzel roll.
Yes.
And that was probably the most disappointing thing for me that I got for the food. I was hoping that the cheddar soup was going to be more cheddar-y. And I've never had cheddar soup before, but it was just like, I like cheese, I like soup, I'll try it. And I don't know, it was more potato-y, I guess, than I expected, or I don't know. I didn't care for it that much. I ate about half of it. And when I ate it with the pretzel roll was good. And like dipping it in the soup and eating it that way was good. But once I ran out of the pretzel roll, which was about halfway through the soup, I was
then what's the point?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, well, I don't really want to eat the rest of this.
Yeah. And the next up was the United Kingdom, or Britain, as you may know it.
I think there was actually another food place in between Canada and United Kingdom.
Was there?
Yeah, I think I got the root beer float.
That was at the Desserts and Champagne Showcase Plaza. I don't know where this was, but yes, you got the root beer float.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just a basic root beer float. The ice cream was nice. Nice soft serve. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then, we went to United Kingdom, which, I mean, we mostly walked through this one a lot less than the others, because it's Britain. But
no, we spent a good amount of time here because of...
We got traditional fish and chips.
Oh, yeah.
It was greasy, it was delicious, and we ate here both days.
Yeah. We got a plate to share the first day because we just wanted
a basket, I would say.
Yeah, a basket to share the first day. Because
which, for those unaware, fish and chips is
meal.
Fried fish served with chips, which is just giant thick potato wedges because they call
potato wedges chips
over there.
Yep.
And chips are crisps.
Yeah.
And cookies are biscuits.
Yes.
And stuff like that. But it was so good. This is the kind of food that we just adore. And we just loaded it up with ketchup, and I loved it so much.
I love fried food. And this was not, like, it was greasy, but it wasn't...
It wasn't, like, crazy greasy.
No, and, like, it's not the kind of greasy that, unless you're, like, really sensitive to that kind of stuff, it's not going to give you an upset stomach afterward or anything like that. It was really good. We shared a plate the first day, I said, and then the second day, we each got our own... basket, and we still ate pretty much all of it. Yeah, and it was a full basket, too.
Yeah, it's, like...
2 or 3 pieces of fish and then a basket full of chips. So
yeah, very filling. When I was around 11 or something was when I was last in England, and it was like a
exchange program,
kind of like a small exchange program where you go around England, Ireland, Wales. You're in like each spot for like a day, and one of the days we had a traditional meal of fish and chips, and I was a little disappointed because they didn't have ketchup. It's like,
poor baby.
Yeah, the fish and chips are fine, but I like ketchup. But no, there's ketchup here at Disney, and I had ketchup, and it was very good. And last country was France. And they have like a mini Eiffel Tower, because of course they do. And
because it's France, it had me thinking. Another cool thing about the Food and Wine Festival is there's little Remy's around everywhere around the world showcase. Remy, the rat from Ratatouille. And he's just hidden in little spots. And we found...
5?
It was 5?
Somewhere around 5, I'd say.
Yeah, it's like we found a good number of them. I don't know how many there are exactly, but... we saw quite a few.
Yeah. But most important thing is that in France, they had an ice cream shop of homemade ice cream.
And we did this on your birthday.
Yes, we did this on my birthday, which was the second day there, the November 3rd.
Yeah.
That's my birthday.
And we got pictures of that, so I'll show the pictures.
Here's a picture of me posing with my ice cream.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah, because we got like the waffle bowl.
Oh yeah, like we got the waffle bowl, and what even was it? It had like candied peanuts.
Yeah,
with like a
candied peanuts,
chocolate and peanut butter swirl or something.
Yeah,
like loaded with whipped cream and like chocolate sauce. It was very good.
Yeah.
Like, holy cow. I'm not a crazy ice cream aficionado or anything. I pretty much just go with, like, cookie dough or cookies and cream. But this was really good.
Oh, those candied peanuts were so good.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, they stained everything red because candied peanuts are red, apparently. Oh, that was a very good last thing that we ate.
The waffle cone... just like at the end was...
Oh, it was so good. It was just like crumbled perfectly.
Yeah.
Like it was firm enough to stay together.
But also soft and...
It was so good.
A++.
A++. Would recommend. I'm recommending it right now.
Made of angels.
If you go to EPCOT, eat the ice cream in France.
Yeah.
It's kind of near the back, and you could easily walk past it.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, so
is that all the places we ate at?
Yeah, I think so. That's the World Showcase, and we ate at the various locations throughout there both days.
Yeah.
Like we said, we got the fish and chips twice, and we got the Belgian waffles twice. But yeah, I think that's most of the food we actually ate.
So then, going up to Future World then.
Yeah.
We started over on the east side, and then we only did most of the east side stuff the first day, and then we did west side stuff the second day.
Yeah, by the time we got to the west side stuff on the first day, it was already closed because it was dark and near the fireworks show time. Spoilers, we saw the fireworks twice here.
I love the fireworks show here. I love it, but we'll save that until we're done with EPCOT.
So let's just go around Future World, I'd say.
Yeah, so let's see here. First
6.
is Test Track.
I don't remember what order we went to these actual attractions, but we'll just go in this order.
I think we did Test Track first.
Okay. Test Track.
That was the one where we built our car.
Presented by Chevrolet.
And this, I think, is different than how it was last time I was here. Because last time I was here, I could swear that this was instead like a Crash Dummies-like place.
Event or something?
Yeah, and the idea was it's like, oh, you're getting in a car and you're going to be a crash dummy for the car. Whereas this time...
No, you actually get to go in and, like, there's enough, like, you get to team up with, like, one or two other people, and you actually, on a touchscreen, design your car so you could make it look fairly goofy if you want. And I mean, the point of it is you're trying to make it as like
efficient as possible.
Efficient and powerful and maneuverable, and like there's one other stat, but we made ours just look super doofy. Like it was tall and very small and incredibly thin. Like you could probably crush one person into this terrible machine.
Yeah.
And I mean, ours won on efficiency. So yeah, you build the vehicle, and then you get to the actual ride where you actually like scan in your vehicle, so it remembers the vehicles that everyone that's sitting in this your car, and then like it'll compare and contrast each of them as you go through the course, and it'll like it goes through and it kind of takes you through this simulation test track thing, where it takes you around a couple of curves to test the
how good is it in
the
rain
maneuvering and
that
like
kind of stuff.
and like how good is it at stopping and what's the power and
how
it's like
fast can
how fast can it go, which you actually go outside and it like goes flying.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how fast this thing actually gets, but it takes you out and then like goes in a big loop where in the middle of like it sort of curves towards the inside of the loop, and down on the ground you can see a whole bunch of Chevrolet vehicles that they're currently selling. Ooh, Chevrolet. And then it like comes back around and you fly back into the vehicle.
This podcast is not sponsored by Chevrolet.
If they want to sponsor us, that's cool. It's a car, I think. But yeah, and then at the end you get to see like compare and contrast your vehicle, and there's more like things you could drive it around on like other little courses and stuff. It's very fun.
Yeah.
and silly.
And there was like so kids ahead of us who were designing a car, and they built a pretty good car.
Yeah, they built a big old monster truck.
Yeah.
And we had like this hilarious little dinky thing. I think ours won in most cases over that thing, though. It's like that thing was more powerful, yes. But it wasn't fuel efficient. It didn't turn well.
Yeah.
And it's like it could not stop.
But just while they were building the car, it's like they were having so much fun. They're like, oh, let's give it big wheels and stuff like that.
And we're sitting over here giggling at ourselves as we destroy ours.
Well, we made ours like a really weird teal-like color.
Oh,
that
it was like an awful teal color that you would never want on a vehicle. Yeah, we purposely tried to make the worst vehicle. And it was very fuel efficient.
Anyway, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Next was...
Number 4 and 5.
Mission Space.
Which was also Ellen's Energy Adventure.
No, we'll get to that next.
Okay, well, they're kind of connected.
No, that's over here.
No,
that's over here. Mission Space and Advanced Training Lab.
Okay, yes. Mission Space.
Yeah.
Oh, right. This one is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Not even...
So, just to give you guys a little context for this ride, this is one where apparently it's intense enough where they have 2 separate sites that you can go into this ride on, and there's the less intense experience that's green, or the more intense experience which is orange. And we did the orange because I had done it before, and I was like, I remember this ride, I didn't find it that intense, and I did the orange before. But I warned Shawn beforehand that it kind of affects different people differently.
Yeah, what it is you get into this little pod, like this tiny pod where you cannot move. You're told not to try to look around because it could make you incredibly nauseous to do so. You're supposed to just focus on the tiny screen in front of you. because you're in this little pod
with 4 other people.
And these pods are spinning at a ridiculous rate. You don't know you're spinning, but I know that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
because
it's what
forcing G-force on you, like if you were in an actual space cadet simulation. Probably not quite as intense, but still getting up there.
Yeah, and you're supposed to, you and the 4 people in your pod are supposed to be landing a shuttle
on Mars.
So, one of you is the captain, there's a navigator, an engineer.
So, you're all supposed to, press a couple of buttons at different times in it. And it was really cool, but I don't want to ride it again because by the end, I was starting to feel the G-forces. And I'm like, oh boy, it was not as bad as Space Mountain, but I was like, okay, I need to relax after this one.
Obviously, you just need to avoid rides that have space in the title.
Obviously, space is awful and terrifying, and I'll stay on the ground, thank you very much.
I mean, I totally agree. Space is terrible, but the ride didn't affect me at all.
Okay.
It's one of those things where I can feel it, and it's I can feel the pressure in my head, but it's never anything that overwhelms me, or once I get off the ride, it's I'm completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, I recovered fairly quickly after this one.
Well, and then we also did Ellen's Energy Adventure after this, which is a very nice, calm ride.
Yes, actually. Actually, yeah, my stomach was still kind of upset a little bit.
As we were waiting.
Waiting for Ellen's Energy Adventure, which was weird, because it's Ellen and Bill Nye take you through the history of the world?
No. Bill Nye shows Ellen about energy. Where energy comes from.
So there's a whole section where you're on these gigantic vehicle things that you just sit on these giant benches, and it's 12 rows, and you can fit 6 people in a row or more. And I mean, the thing was mostly empty.
Yeah, there's
because it's a 30-minute show.
100 people in there, and it's it could probably fit
400
or even more.
But yeah, you're just going through this giant room that has all these really old dinosaur animatronics that are oh, that's kind of really old-fashioned, and then but it just kind of talks about energy and where it comes from and why it's important, and there's this whole Jeopardy thing that's going on.
It's Ellen's dream.
Yeah,
where she needs to be a smarty pants from high school or something like that. She feels dumb because she doesn't know any of the answers.
Oh, it's weird.
I love Ellen so much.
It's so silly.
I really like that ride. I remember the first time I rode it, and just being in awe that you're sitting in this theater watching this happen, and I had no idea what this ride was about. But Ellen makes me happy, and so I was already happy. And then we sit in this theater, and then suddenly the theater just starts moving, and I was like, "What is this? This is crazy."
It was a weird, silly ride, and I would recommend it. It's pretty calm.
Yeah,
compared to a lot of the others.
It's calm and it's corny, but it makes me happy.
Yes.
Then there's kind of some stuff in the middle.
What was that?
A lot of this stuff was kind of shut down.
That's right. I mean, Innovations was there, but it wasn't very good, and a lot of the stuff is just kind of for kids to kind of mess around with microscopes and stuff, and it kind of worked, but
the one thing where you got to zoom in on the butterfly's wing, that was
actually kind of neat.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was,
and there was a lot of it that was blocked off as if they were renovating.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Yeah, a lot of it seemed like they were in the middle of doing stuff with it.
And there was other things that were touch sensitive screens that kids and stuff were supposed to play with that had seen so much use that they were basically busted. So
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We hadn't spent too much time there.
Yeah. Oh, and this is totally random, but Cool Club or Club Cool, hosted by Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah, that was over on this side.
Right here.
Right there.
I was looking, and most of the stuff is nothing. We're
Yeah.
moving over to this side anyways. So, Cool Club, it's just a place where you can go and sample weird pop flavors from around the world.
Yeah.
Which was neat. And there's like which one was it that we really liked? I feel like it was
like some
berry one from Indonesia, I think.
Yeah.
It was weird, and I liked it.
It was really good.
It was better than the raspberry one, actually.
Yeah, there was a couple that were like, "Ooh, this
raspberry and a watermelon," and the watermelon was bad.
Yeah, and this Club Cool, you could just walk in, and there was little like sample cups, and you could get as many as you wanted.
Yeah.
And fill it up with pop, like it was free.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if you'd want to just sit there for like a long time guzzling that much pop.
Yeah. I mean, they
soda.
didn't have your normal pop flavors, but...
Yeah. And then, of course, you could also buy, like, Coca-Cola merchandise and stuff like that there. Mm-hmm. But it's just cool that they had all these free samples of these different things there. It's neat. We actually walked through there because it was kind of on our way a couple of times.
Yeah, so we just, like,
walked through
a little soda thing and
keep going.
It as we kept going.
Yeah. Okay, so... probably want to come over and talk about...
there's the EPCOT ball itself.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. So, you all know what the EPCOT ball looks like. It's the giant golf ball thing.
Did you know there's a ride inside of it?
Did you know the ride is... okay? Yeah, it's a weird ride.
Oh, this is one that has space in the name. That's fine. Spaceship Earth. It didn't make you sick, is what I mean.
Well, yeah, that's because it's a very slow-moving ride.
Yeah.
It takes you through...
this is another ride I feel like...
history of knowledge.
Yeah.
And writing.
Yeah, just kind of the history of people. Yeah, I guess history of, like, innovation.
Innovation and like, keeping hold of...
knowledge.
Information and knowledge.
Yeah, because like, it talked about, like, the Library of Alexandria and stuff.
Yeah, and people writing things, and then colleges and stuff in ancient Greece. And it had okay animatronics. It just kind of...
there was that really neat room where
at the
it's
very
like
top,
the stars.
Yeah, you get to
like
the very
lights.
top, because this one actually goes up at fairly sharp angles. Mm-hmm. And once you get to the top of the globe, then the whole thing is just like this. You're supposedly on space, looking at Earth up in the distance, and there's just stars everywhere, and that's kind of neat, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But and it also has you.
And on the way back down, there's like a touch
really
screen.
Silly questions.
Yeah, at the end, you're supposed to like answer what you want your future vacation to be, and it's like you get to choose if you want. It's all about the journey or the destination or stuff like that. And do you want to fly or how do you want to get there?
Be underwater.
And yeah, your two options of future vacation locations are space or the bottom of the ocean, which both are terrifying. I don't want to go to either of those places.
No, thank you.
No.
And then there's like this hokey little animation thing that plays where it like cuts
flash
out your
animation,
face,
yeah.
And it's like, here's us taking you through what your next vacation may be like. And this is something where I think they changed this since last time I was here. Because I feel like a lot more of the ride was dedicated to that like hokey future
flash animation crap
thing. And I think they've shortened that. Or maybe I just remember that more.
Because it's weird.
And bad.
Not good. Not good at all. So yeah, that's what's inside the EPCOT ball.
There's also some neat stuff out here by the entrance we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Like those huge like plaque things that have people's faces on them.
Yeah, like little plaques of metal where you can like get your face imprinted on it.
Yeah.
Like they just take you and smash your face into it. No, I'm not sure.
Very, very tiny.
I'm guessing they you can go somewhere and get your photo taken and then like, seriously, it's less than an inch big, the size of it. And it's just like two colors. It's like the base color and then the alternate color. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's just like plaques upon plaques, hundreds of thousands of people that have done this. And it's like, oh, that's neat. There's a bunch of faces on this.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, going back to more Future World stuff.
Let's jump down here, because I think we went in about that order.
Okay, yeah. So there was the Imagination Building, which had the Journey into Imagination with Figment, and it also had the film festival. Yeah, the short film festival.
Yeah.
Disney and Pixar. And that, the short film festival had, it was a big theater that, like, put a few, like, 4D effects.
Kind of like the Bugs Life thing, except less extreme.
Yeah, like, it would, like, shake the seats every once in a while.
And they kind of tilt a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it had Get a Horse, For the Birds, and La Luna.
La Luna.
Yeah. So, I mean, none of these are, like, crazy in your face, except for, like, Get a Horse kind of was. But the other two are just kind of simple.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of interactive effects on that or anything.
This definitely was not here last time I was here in 2012.
Okay.
So this was new. I think they were like something else was there, but I don't remember what it was.
Okay. I mean, this was neat. I mean, I've seen all three of those shorts. They're none of my like crazy favorites or anything, but it was neat that they integrated stuff like that into
I mean, Get a Horse has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, because it's such a callback to traditional animation.
And it's
so cool seeing that one in theaters for the first time.
Yeah. And honestly, the best part of that attraction was, yet again, the wait time. Because they had a little documentary playing out before you get into the theater where it was talking about the history of shorts.
For both Pixar and Disney.
And, like, as we're walking into the theater, I'm like, no, I've seen these shorts 100 times. I want to see more of this little documentary they've got.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was cool. And then the actual...
Journey into the Imagination with Figment.
This is weird.
Figment is a beloved character, I am told.
Okay. I didn't know this thing existed until we got to EPCOT.
No, you saw him everywhere.
A few specific locations at other ones. And I'm like, what is this? And you're like, oh, that's Figment. And I'm like, who?
And I'm like, you'll see.
Okay. And then I saw, and I'm like...
What?
Okay.
So, I actually looked a little bit more into this after we got back from our vacation.
Was it less disappointing in the past?
Yes. Apparently when this ride first opened up, it was like 4 times as big. Like, it took up this entire Imagination building. The Imagination building also had a second floor, which this ride also went into.
Wow. Yeah, so let's talk about what the actual ride is.
Okay.
So you're whisked, you're in these like weird little teacup-esque ride things.
It's another one of those like continuous rides where it's like you just kind of walk on and sit down and then it keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, it'll pause here and there, and it was some curmudgeon-y scientist man trying to take you through the five senses.
Gosh, who was it? I don't remember the actor's name. He's the same guy who plays the like henchman guy in Casper.
Wow, very specific there.
That's the thing I know him from. He's got that voice. I don't know.
Should I force you to go find a picture of him?
Maybe. I'll go find him.
There, that's him. That guy.
That guy.
Yeah, he's hosting this whole thing, and he's a scientist guy, and he's trying to take you through the different senses.
He's the guy who says, like, Kerrigan, you bitch, in Casper. And it's, like, the reason that movie's rated PG or whatever.
I've seen that movie, like, once. A long time ago.
Okay.
So that's not helpful. At least not for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Figment, who is this purple dragon with up-pitched voice.
Yeah.
Not like Chipmunk High, but it's definitely pitched up.
It's pitched up. It's not annoying. It's just like high energy.
He keeps taking over the ride and like butting in and saying things are better with your imagination. And
right, because the idea of the ride is to like go through your senses, like the 5 senses, and then...
I mean, you only get through 3, and then they're like, we're just gonna skip over taste and feel.
Yeah.
Because the other one's like, oh, look at this, and then we're gonna blow smells in your face, which again I can't smell, and then hear all these things
that you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, in here.
Yeah.
Oh, there were some really cool, like, illusions. Like, remember the, like, big spider, or was it a bird? I don't remember. There was an animal in a cage, and then it's like, as you passed it, it would disappear.
Oh, yeah. They had, like, the half mirror thing going on in a cage where it looked like there was a full bird, but as you passed it, it disappeared because there was a mirror, and it's all interesting tricks like that. So that was neat. Yeah. There's a few cool visual
and there was, like, a whole room where it's, like, all the furniture's on the ceiling.
Yeah, because apparently you go upside down and then you're in Figment's house.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, a billion Figments everywhere as they're singing their song, which I can't remember at this point.
Yeah.
All I get in my head is It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, and I know that's not the song.
It.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and then you get out, and there's some things for kids to interact with, which are kind of neat. Like, you can stick your arms between a couple of bars, and it makes Figment fly around the screen following your arms. And
he'll play instruments and stuff.
But, I mean, there's not a whole lot to this ride.
But there are a lot of Figment plushes and merchandise
and
everywhere.
T-shirts and other things.
Yep.
It's weird.
Hats. Yeah, so this ride used to be, like, twice as big, twice as long, and people really liked it, like, and it used to be called something different, too. It was just, like, Journey into the Imagination, or something like that.
Okay.
And then eventually they did something where they closed down the second floor, because I think, if I remember correctly, this building was supposed to stay up to date with latest technologies, and it was a deal Disney had made with Kodak, I think.
Spoilers, Kodak
can't afford to update to newest technologies every 5 or so years, because the contract said. Because
they sell cameras, old cameras. Disposable cameras. They went out of business.
Yeah. So because of that, the Imagination building is kind of been
not up to date.
Well, and under cared for. Like, we even saw, like, the outside of the building, I'm sure, looked really impressive in its heyday. It's got, like, this really cool fountain where the water shoots up the fountain, but it's like there was
up
one
a waterfall.
Yeah, but then, like, there was one of the things that was broken, so it was just shooting straight up instead.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this could have been cool, I'm sure, but
and it's got like this big glass pyramid
thing.
Yeah, like windows and stuff that I'm sure, you know, back in the day they probably looked really cool and probably shimmered in the light and such, but
oh yeah, probably was cool, but it's definitely seen better days, because it just kind of exists and nothing special. Now it'd be cool to see it updated.
Yeah.
But then we get into some of the actual cooler stuff,
like the land
building. The land building, which this is where the best ride is.
Which one?
Hold on. I can tell you. Just let me think about it and see if I can see it on here.
Soarin' or Living with the Land?
No. The Circle of Life. Obviously.
We didn't even go see that one. You were like, I think I'm good without a pollution lecture.
Yeah, Timon and Pumbaa for 20 minutes tell you that pollution is bad and okay.
Pollution is bad, okay? And then Simba comes in and he's like, yep, sure boy howdy it is.
Yeah, so we just skipped that one. But no, the things we did do in this building is Living with the Land and Soarin'. So Living with the Land, you actually get to...
Which one was the cool one you were talking about?
I was talking about the Circle of Life.
No, for real.
No, seriously, I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, Living with the Land, you get in a little boat thing, and you go back through their greenhouses, and you see all these different vegetables.
Yeah.
And various other plants, and they talk about growing them and how it's important and stuff.
They also talk about like the history of agriculture, and then when you get towards the end of it, that's when they show you like some models of their greenhouses and how they keep their fish farms and stuff like that,
and how they interact and how they have like hanging plants to save space and stuff like that. And it's like, these are all neat ideas. and they should be integrated everywhere except people are poor, especially farmers, so they can't afford to do stuff like this.
And Disney even, like, kind of makes a point to say all that, too. It's like, while we're able to afford these new technologies to stay up to date, a lot of people can't, unfortunately. Which
we need to be able to do that soon.
Yeah. But, like, they had some really neat stuff there, too, where it's like they have some fish tanks above the plants.
No, below.
Below the plants? One way or the other.
Which is, like,
so that
it's just automatic fertilizer.
Yeah.
For the land.
Yeah, and it's just like it saves space and it's like efficient and...
Yeah, you got a fish farm and a plant farm right at the same spot. It makes a lot of sense. Pretty cool.
And there's like an insane amount of vegetables and plants and stuff there. It's like you're just looking all around and there's like... There's bananas and there's blackberries and there's...
Yeah. Star fruit and dragon fruit, which I didn't know what they actually look like.
Yeah.
Neat. But then there's also Soarin', and I want to talk about the actual lead up to Soarin'.
Yeah.
First, because like there's a giant screen on the wall.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this.
Yeah, and like you can, because the wait times for this one is actually pretty long.
Yeah. Even when we were there.
Oh yeah. It was like a 30-40 minute wait on this one. Mm-hmm. Understandably so.
Yeah, and I'm sure it would be even longer.
If you went
during a busier time.
Yeah. So yeah, you can like pull out your smartphones and stuff like that and go to a certain website, and it's just like an ongoing world geography quiz, and like it pulls up a country and asks you a question about the country, and you get like to choose between 4 things.
It puts you on teams. So
yeah, there are
like
4
red
different
team,
teams.
Blue team, green team, and yellow team. Purple team.
It's like purple, yellow, red, and green. No purple. No blue.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because most of the background is blue.
Yeah.
And I was really bad at it. Like I got most of
because we just guess. Yeah, because we don't have smartphones. So
no, we don't have smartphones, so we were just sitting there trying to guess along. We did terribly. I think I only got 1 correct.
Yeah, out of like the 20 questions, we got like maybe 2
3
collectively.
Yeah, we're not terribly great at stuff like that, and almost all of those were guesses.
But they were hard questions.
Oh yeah,
too.
They weren't just like straightforward. Like, what is a fruit you can find in Hawaii?
Coconuts.
Coconut.
Word that rhymes with coconut.
Corn.
Yeah.
Salamander. Rock. Huh, I wonder which one it is. But no, it's actually a little more involved than that. And so, yeah, we were not good at that. But the actual ride is neat.
And it had Patrick Warburton introducing it.
Yeah, so Kronk. Yeah.
He's like, buckle your seatbelts.
Oh, yeah. So you actually get into a little lift thing, which then lifts you up into a big sideways dome, which is a giant television screen. And you're soaring
above the
clouds in the sky, and it like takes you through a whole bunch of different vistas. Like it starts you off flying above a big old mountain, and then
you're like up Mount Everest or
and then
something.
you're like flying along an African plain, and then there's like you're in not Antarctica, the North Pole with polar bears and stuff. I know which ones exist where. And
you go through Paris.
Yeah, Paris, and you see the Eiffel Tower at night, and like it finishes off with you flying over EPCOT itself.
Yeah.
At night with fireworks going off and stuff.
Yeah, so fireworks are like right next to you.
Yeah, so that's all really neat. If you can, get into the middle bay, because the side bays, because it's a dome.
Once you like zoom in close to things,
they start warping and curving.
It's like the
Eiffel Tower is curving a bit.
It's like curving around your body a bit. I mean, it's still really cool.
Yeah.
And
like the ride itself will kind of like move back, tilt back and forth, and go up and down a little bit.
And they've got like these big fans that like rush wind in your face.
Yeah,
and such.
So it's really cool still.
Yeah, it's. Like, even though there's, like, the dome effect,
where it's a little
still
curved.
Really immersive.
Just feels a little off. Like the world is twisting and you're afraid something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh no, monsters are attacking and they've warped the world or something. But yeah, I think that's mostly the land.
The land building was also cool because it had like a nice big cafeteria area, and I liked like the interior design of it.
You know,
it's kind of old, but
very
nice.
It is nice. But one last building in EPCOT for us to talk about to you.
The sea.
The seas.
With Nemo and friends.
With Nemo and friends.
This is also another, like, Disney exclusive area, even though it's Pixar.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
I'm sure that this was just the seas before Finding Nemo came out, but then it was like, well, why not make it Finding Nemo themed? Kind of like how the land is very Lion King themed.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you get on this little ride and you kind of relive a few key moments of Finding Nemo on screens.
This is kind of an off tangent. The land would be cooler if they used something like Pocahontas.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Back to aquatic land with a little Finding Nemo story thing where it just kind of has Nemo and not Nemo, Dory and Marlin, yes, going through the various locations again from the movie, trying to find Nemo as he giggles and runs away from them continuously.
Oh, what a prankster!
And then they finally catch up, and then at the end, the clips start getting played on an actual aquarium screen as you go by.
Yeah, so you see actual fish.
After you get done with this silly little ride, there's an actual aquarium that you can go and look at. Which is neat, because they got like a couple sea turtles in there, and like a couple different kinds of sharks. And it's one of those that you can actually...
dolphins and some manatees.
Yeah, like 2 manatees that were obviously hit by boats. Because the one was missing the end of its tail and the other one had large, ugly scars. Mm-hmm. And it's like, ooh.
Poor guys.
Yay. But they also had, like, smaller fish. Like, there was a horseshoe crab and one of them
like the little enclosures.
Like the circular enclosures that you can walk around. And, like, there's a little horseshoe crab in one of those. Just like, walking up against the wall so you can see all of his legs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That was neat. And there's cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Those things were adorable. Like, cuttlefish are closely related to jellyfish or squids. Mostly squids, not jellyfish. Why did I say that? But they're like little squid things, and they're adorable, and this is what they look like.
Thanks.
Yeah. But look at them, they're so cute. Like, these things are only like 2 or 3 inches long.
Yeah.
I don't
have much to say about the seas building in general, though. It's an aquarium. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of boring fish and, like, fish that are too big. It's like, no, I don't like you. You're 3 feet long. I don't like you at all.
But, I mean...
I don't like fish.
Just, in general, like, it's nice. You'll go and you'll spend, like, a half hour there looking at fish, but then you'll leave.
Yep.
There are some little animatronics of the seagulls outside the seas building. Yeah, where it's like, mine.
Because of course they are.
Yeah.
What?
That's pretty much it in Epcot, but there's one other thing. There's the fountain that was... Gosh, don't die.
Oh, I don't know why, but I just, like, inhaled some saliva.
The fountain that plays to music.
Yeah, there's like a fountain that plays epic music and just like shoots water up and does little shows.
Yeah, it's like
and has
big
like lights on it.
Music, and it's like, and the fountain is all like timed to the music, so it shoots up water in beat with the music and such.
And that just really kind of goes throughout the day. Mm-hmm. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, and as it gets late, lights come on and flash with it as well. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. But you also got your other shirt here.
Oh, yeah. While we were here, I bought my shirt. Because Tennille got the Kingdom Hearts shirt. We both got our awesome hats. Mm-hmm. Did we talk about the hats?
I don't know. We got hats.
I'll
take pictures of all the stuff we got.
Yeah, these are cool
off.
hats. They're not baseball caps, which is why I like them. Mm-hmm. And I got mine on like day 2. Tennille got hers on
day 4 or something like that.
Much later, but we could never find a different style that she liked.
Yeah, I really liked what Shawn had.
And the only other ones we found that were in the same style was a bright blue Little Mermaid hat and another one that was like a mini based hat or something.
Yeah, but that's
they were really
not really
boring.
my style. I like the Steamboat Willie in the nice brown color.
Mm-hmm. So we both got the same hat because of course we did.
Yeah.
But I got a Stitch shirt.
Yeah, and we were both kind of thinking we want the Kingdom Hearts shirt and the Stitch shirt, but
we're not sure who gets which.
Yeah, we're not sure who gets which, and so I finally decided I'll get the Kingdom Hearts shirt, and you got the Stitch shirt.
Mm-hmm. And the Stitch shirt was actually kind of like part of the themed set. Mm-hmm. There was Stitch on this nice dark blue shirt. There was Grumpy on like a maroon shirt. Mm-hmm. Who was it Mickey himself?
Maybe.
I think there was Mickey, and the last one was... It's weird. They all had their names on the shirts, except for the last one, where it was Bone Daddy.
Yeah, with Jack Skellington.
Jack Skellington on a deliciously purple shirt, but it said Bone Daddy. It's like, I would have been fine getting that shirt over Stitch, but it said Bone Daddy, and that's just like...
just kind of a turn off.
I don't want a penis euphemism on my shirt. Man, it's such a nice purple color, and it's got Jack Skellington. But the wording.
Why couldn't it just say Jack Skellington?
Or just Jack.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, last thing to talk about for EPCOT then.
Yes.
Fireworks show. Illuminations.
Kaboom.
Kaboom.
Sparkle.
Sparkle.
Yes. This one was neat.
I love this show. So this takes place over the lake in the World Showcase.
In the center of the lake, specifically.
Yeah, and there's actually certain places around the lake you can't sit because it's too close to the fireworks. There's firework fallout there.
Yeah.
And
we watched this one twice.
Yeah, because the first time we didn't have that great of a view. We were kind of behind a tree. Mm-hmm. So some of the fireworks were hidden.
Yeah, the second day we got a much better seat.
Yeah, because we were there pretty much all day and we only needed to explore like part of the park. Mm-hmm. And so at like 6 o'clock or something like that.
6 or 7, we were already sitting down to get our spots.
Yeah, we just we sat down around the lake in a really nice, clear, open spot near the front.
And then, I mean, we needed to move later because we found out that was one of the fallout zones.
Well, and then we needed to move again because it was like a handicap wheelchair zone.
Yeah.
We were sitting in. So we moved off to the side.
We moved off to the side a bit, but it was still a very clean, clear view, and it was very nice. Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
And we just, we had our 3DSs charged, so we just played...
Minish Cap.
Yeah, Minish Cap while we waited. But this one's so cool. They have this big iron globe of the world that slowly, goes out to the middle of the lake.
And it's spinning around.
It's spinning around, and they have, the light projections on it that just show, different people of the world, and it...
various scenes from, people of the different parts of the world celebrating and traveling and all kinds of stuff. It's really neat. And, there's fireworks shooting around it, and eventually this thing...
There's fountains.
Yeah, there's fountains of water, and there's fire. This one shoots fire again. And then the globe itself opens up like a flower. Uh-huh. And, there's a big old fire thing in the center just shooting gouts of fire.
Oh, and before this one starts, there's a whole bunch of torches around each of the countries.
Oh, yeah.
So there's this big torch that represents each one of the countries. And then there's this announcer... over the thing, and he's like, we welcome you to Illuminations, and and he goes through his whole spiel,
and then at the end is and now the show begins.
and all the lights go out. And it's like, even the lights from the shops and stuff in the different countries are all
just
out. And
they're gone.
And then throughout the show, too, like the lights on the buildings,
various buildings
light up as well.
Around the lake are lighting up and stuff. And it's like, it's really cool.
And it's just this message of, like,
harmony
and living together with our neighbors.
Man, isn't it nice when everyone works together and we can all be nice to each other and cool and stuff like that?
Don't be sassy on my podcast. But, yeah, it's so neat. And it's one of those that's like, if only the world was as cool of a place like this all the time. Because I remember even that night after we came back after the show, that's when we met that one guy from New York.
Oh, yeah!
On the bus ride. And we just struck up a conversation with him.
Well, I mean, he struck up a conversation with us.
Yeah, he struck up a conversation with us.
But yeah, we just talked with a music teacher from New York.
Yeah. And he was just telling us about, it was his first day at the park, and it was one of our last days. And
we just got to sit around and
chat with him for just a little bit on the way back. Yeah. It was really nice.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, yeah, I think
do you want to talk about some of the other transportation stuff? I guess that's a good segue.
Yeah. We're done talking about EPCOT now. We're just going to talk about other subjects.
Overall, parks, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I would say my favorite parks to go to, EPCOT.
Animal Kingdom,
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, yeah. And then Hollywood Studios, because I guess why not?
I mean, that's all of the parks then.
Yeah, I know.
But there's kind of...
Yeah, Hollywood Studios isn't bad, but
There was a lot of stuff missing from Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. I would love to go back there in a year or 2 or 3.
Whenever they get more stuff back.
Because, yeah, it felt like not a complete park right now.
Yeah. Like, we probably could have spent half a day there if we really wanted to.
Easily.
Yeah. Granted, the end show definitely makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Like, by far.
Fantasmic.
Yeah.
That's its name, right?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, transportation.
We did not rent a car or anything like that while we were there.
No. We actually went through their Disney's
Magical
Express service, which meant we had somebody drop us off at the airport in Chicago. We had
a friend drop us off at the airport.
We had a friend, not just some random person. And then we got on our plane, and when we arrived in Orlando, they had buses directly to Disney. We just showed them our passes, which took us right to our resort. And we were already checked in because we were able to do online check-in. So we were able to just drop our bags off, and we went to the parks right away that first day after being on a plane that we got on at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that first day was exhausting, which we talked about before, but it was super convenient because from your resort to all the different parks, there are just continuous buses running. I mean, you might have to wait up to about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think there's like a new bus there like every 20 minutes or so. If not shorter.
Yeah, if not shorter than that. Magic Kingdom, it's probably closer to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very convenient. And then once you're done, you can check out of your room and they can just hold on to your luggage until you're done for the day. Then you come back, you get your luggage. Another bus comes and takes you back to the airport, and you're good to go. We did not utilize one service, which if you have checked bags, we didn't have enough stuff to need to do a checked bag. But if you check your bags, you can put special tags on them, and once those go onto the plane, you won't see them again until they show up in your room later.
Yeah.
Because that's super convenient, and Disney does stuff like that.
Yeah, so you don't have to go through checking out your bags at the airport.
Yeah, you don't have to check. Well, you need to check it in, but you don't have to go to baggage claim then once you get to the airport before going to Disney. You just get off your plane and you head right to Disney. It's awesome. I mean, you might have to wait about half the day for those bags to show up, I've heard from a couple other people.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's your checked luggage. It's probably fine anyways. They don't have that service going the other way, though, because, you can't just check your luggage in and have it show up at your house.
Yeah.
That'd be too convenient.
But, and I know you, since you have been traveling. And
I've traveled before, and I'm a worrywart about stuff.
You have been through bad luggage claim and stuff like that.
I've heard horror stories as well. It's like, I worried all the way there and all the way back, and it was fine. Like, it was all
I would
very
keep
convenient.
telling you, I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, they've got this. They wouldn't do stuff like that.
And I'm like, do we have to go to this certain place to get on the bus, or are they gonna?
Are they gonna make us carry our bags around with us while we go
like,
and
after
do
we
this
get
other stuff?
And stuff like that? And like, no, it was all fine. It worked out great. I mean,
people were so helpful.
I mean, when we got back to Chicago, our friends had a little bit of trouble picking us up, but that's because they weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's about it. Yeah.
And then also, the resort we stayed at was Pop Century,
which is the cheapest one.
Yeah.
Because we're still poor, so we can't necessarily afford all the crazy things.
I really wanted to go to the Art of Animation, which is the next.
Not so cheap.
Yeah, it was like the next one, and that was actually like right across the lake.
We could have just walked over there, which we got to the bridge and we looked and we're like, that's neat.
Cool.
And then we walked back to our room because we didn't actually spend a whole lot of time in our resort because for the most part we woke up in the morning, we ate breakfast one morning.
Yeah.
Only one out of like the 7 days we were there, but otherwise we just went straight to the parks.
Well, when we did eat at Pop Century, we had pancakes.
Just like a pancake
and sausage
platter thing.
Yeah, breakfast. It was chocolate chip pancakes, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip pancakes, I think maybe in the shape of Mickey. I don't remember.
Yeah. I've never had chocolate chip pancakes before, so when I ate it, I was actually, even though I knew it was chocolate, I was expecting blueberries because it's the only kind of, like...
I mean, blueberry pancakes are better.
Yeah, it's like that's the only kind of, like, specialty pancake I've had before. And so I bit into it expecting blueberries, even though I knew it was chocolate. And I was like, this is weird. And then I took another bite, and I was like, oh, no, this is good. I like this.
Okay, I guess it's fine and stuff. But yeah, Pop Century is based off of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Now, another interesting history fact. This was supposed to be...
Only one half.
Yeah, one half of the Value Resorts. They were supposed to be on the other side of the lake where... on
the other half of
Lake,
Pop Century.
The Art of Animation Resort was supposed to be the other half, and that had the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s. But that never got finished because they were building the resort right around the time 9/11 happened. And then there was a huge tourist drop in the economy, and Disney had to back off on a lot of stuff. So those didn't get finished until they built Art of Animation. And they built Art of Animation because by the time they would build those 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, you're not going to be having that many people from that generation going to the Disney parks anymore.
Yeah, probably not, no. I mean, your parents grew up in the 70s. Mine grew up in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's already old. And I mean,
my parents more so grew up in the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
So my mom was born in 98 and dad was born in 62.
98?
58.
58. That sounds more accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. But, yeah. I guess the building we stayed in was actually really close to the center. It was in one of the 60s buildings. It was on the ground floor, and it was super convenient little walk.
Yeah, it was, like, pretty close to the buses. We didn't have to walk. Well, and I think they have, like, other buses and stuff, probably. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Maybe not.
But it was really convenient and close by, and the room itself was really small, but it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent very little time in there. I guess one of the nights I saw that one movie.
Oh, yeah, you saw Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I saw Hocus Pocus for the first time.
Which you had never seen before.
Yeah, because I'd never seen it before. And I was like, that was a thing.
But at least you saw it. And
yeah.
It was Halloween, so it was apropos.
Yeah.
Pop Century is like, it's neat if you can go to the other resorts. Like, if you could afford it, I would recommend it, because we did walk around one of the nicer resorts.
And it's like, wow, there is such a jump. It's like, this is a hokey, cheesy Pop Century.
Well, and it's got, like, huge...
And then you go to the other places. Oh, yeah, like, Pop Century's got, like, giant...
There's giant Rubik's Cubes, and, like, by the 90s buildings, there's, like, giant cell phones.
Like, the old-fashioned cell phones, and, like, near us was, like, giant yo-yos, and, like, a giant...
Play-Doh.
A big old Play-Doh lid, and a Mowgli and Baloo, and it's like, this is cheesy, and, like, the buildings say, like, groovy and stuff like that.
Hip.
Oh, it's bad. But, the better, like, more upscale stuff, places like look... very nice.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, this would be cool to stay in, but we don't have the money for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we walked back through one of them. I can't remember what it was.
Might have even
called.
been two of them.
I think it was a couple of different ones.
But we walked past them to get to the Fantasia Gardens putt-putt course on one of the days we went to Epcot.
Yeah, because the travel agent we went through gave us, like, free vouchers to go to the mini golf.
Which allowed us to play 2 courses because we got 4 tickets.
Yeah, because Blizzard Beach was under renovations, and that's where one of the golf courses is. It's like a winter summerland, which is all, like, Christmassy themed. Yeah,
and we don't care that much about Christmas, so...
Yeah, and this one was based on Fantasia.
And so Fantasia's awesome!
Definitely went here.
Yeah. So
they had 2 different courses here. They had, like, a regular, like, mini golf putt-putt course that was based on, like, different parts of the movie Fantasia.
Like, it's got the opening song, and then it's got the one with the dancing mushrooms in the winter section and stuff like that, and then it moves into the hippopotamus with the crocodiles and all that dance scene, and then it ends with the magician's nephew, where you got Mickey
screwing everything up.
Mickey screwing things up, and the broomsticks, and the very last hole is Yen Sid.
Yeah,
like with the giant whirlpool flushing it away and stuff. And we kept our scorecard so we can tell you what our scores were.
Yeah.
We
got par.
Yeah, I ended at par on 53, and Neil ended at par on 53.
We tied.
Yay. And it's like, not like we tied every single hole, obviously, but by the end, we ended up tied. Almost didn't, though, on the very last hole.
Shawn almost
it's a par.
It up.
It was a par. It's a par 2, because it's just up the slope and into the hole, which is gigantic because it's a big old whirlpool. It's like, how could you miss it?
It's like a big 4-foot whirlpool thing that is like, if you get your ball anywhere near it,
you're going to get a hole in one.
Get a hole in one.
It's like, how could you miss? And then I almost missed, and I'm like, it went up and it started slowing down before getting to the whirlpool. I'm like, no, yes, okay. But yeah, we ended up tying. So then after that, we took a break, like a short sit-down break, because we had been standing for a while. And then we went into the other course, which is the fairways, which is actually more so styled after actual golf courses.
And we did really bad. We did really, really bad.
So, I mean, the par for these jumped up to like 4 and 5 as compared to 3 on the other one.
Yeah.
And the very first shot you took went out of bounds, and we never found that ball, but we found 2 others.
Because other people were really bad at these. And
very often we got...
Disney has like a rule that you have like a max of 6.
6 strokes, so that there's not like people just sitting there getting up to like 10 and 20 strokes trying to get this stupid ball in, because there's a lot of hills on these.
Yeah. It's a much more difficult course.
Yeah, so we hit 6 quite a few times on this one. And for some reason, I didn't mark our scores on one of these.
Yeah, he like totally missed one of the...
I don't know which one it was, but we got near the end. I'm like, hey, we're 1 short.
We're supposedly at course 17, even though we're in course 18.
Yeah, 18 out of 18. So I'm not sure what our scores were, but there's a very good chance that we either tied or I probably was ahead by a little bit.
You probably won.
Yeah, because
I was doing really bad.
Without that last one, I was effectively ahead for like 4-ish points for the majority of this entire course.
Mm-hmm.
So when we ended, I ended at 71, which is one below par, but you gotta remember we forgot one of those courses.
So he's probably close to like 75 or something.
Yeah, and Neil ended at 76, so I won by around 5 points.
Yeah.
So I did better on the second course. And the second course was, I enjoyed it more, the music on this course more, because they were playing bits of music on the other course, but it was just the same small bit of loop music that went with whatever specific section of the story you're going through. On the fairways, they were just playing all Fantasia music. So we heard Night on Bald Mountain, we heard stuff from Fantasia 2000. It was neat, and like it was just playing the full songs on that course.
If you like Fantasia and you like playing a little bit of golf, you know, this was a fun distraction.
Yeah.
And it took us a little bit to find this place, unfortunately, because
it's located between two of the parks, and you have to walk there.
Well, yeah, it's located between EPCOT and
Hollywood Studios.
And so we actually, the day we wanted to go to the putt-putt course, we got to EPCOT, and then we kind of had to walk back to...
we had to walk through EPCOT
United
back to
Kingdom, and then there was like a back area where you could walk...
There was an alternate exit that took you to a couple of the different... resorts back there, which were a lot more high-scale things.
Uh-huh. I wish I knew...
what they were called?
Yeah, boat and walkway to EPCOT resorts.
Yeah, that's all it says.
Yeah, in Disney's Hollywood Studios.
But
so it's like you could technically walk from EPCOT to Hollywood Studios if you wanted.
Yeah, we accidentally went the long way around this back lake.
But it was really pretty because it was another lake, and it was all
these huge, like I would say southern
dock, like boardwalk,
southern fancy dock buildings.
Yeah.
And like they were like huge, and it was like these are high scale buildings. Mm-hmm. And then when we got through that area, we got to the next resort, which was like large, kind
big
of like
hotel
coral
resorts.
red buildings with like giant like jade fish and stuff on it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, these are cool.
Yeah.
And that's when we finally got to the putt-putt course.
We could have gotten there much quicker by going a different way, but like I said, we got a little lost.
And we could have also taken a boat, which would have just taken us there, which we did on the way back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still a neat walk back there and to see all that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, and I'll say it again, I like looking at stuff, and even the resorts are just kind of fun to look at.
Yes.
So yeah, that's pretty much EPCOT and
takes
Fantasia Gardens and our resort.
But we're not done yet. We still have
area.
one last place that we visited on our last day. This was day 7, and we went to Disney Springs.
Yeah, so this is the same day that we would have been traveling home, but we were able to go here, and our plane didn't take off until 6, 7 at night.
Something like that.
So that was in the afternoon. So we had all day before then to go to Disney Springs, which is mostly, for those of you who don't know, it's not really a park. It's more of just like a big shopping center, and people who don't have park tickets can go here.
Yeah, so it's open to the full public here. So it's just shopping and food.
And there's like a theater and
like you could. I know
Cirque du Soleil.
Like the day we got there was actually the opening day for Wizard Man.
Doctor Strange.
Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Cumberbund.
So there's not a whole lot to talk about here except for we got food.
Yeah, we got food here, and then we did also just kind of walk around and look at stuff.
Shops,
but we didn't do a whole lot because there's not rides or anything. There's a giant balloon you can ride on, but we said nope.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. But the food we stopped at, what was it called?
Didn't I circle it? Yes, I did. We went to Blaze Fast Fired Pizza.
Wow.
This was cool.
Very good.
Yeah, really good pizza.
It's a make-your-own pizza place.
Yeah, I totally recommend it. It's perfect size for 2 people to share.
Mm-hmm. Possibly even 3 if you're not all crazy hungry.
Yeah, we were pretty hungry, so it was perfect size for 2 hungry people.
So, yeah, you get like a good sized, I don't know,
12-inch.
12-inch, maybe slightly bigger than that. I'm not sure about sizes. But for $13, just $13, you can load this up with anything you want. So, like, there's 7 different kinds of meat and, like, 20 different kinds of veggies, 5 kinds of cheese, 3 different sauces, various spices. You just load this thing up. We got, like, chicken and bacon and one kind of sausage.
Bacon, which was really good.
And sausage and pepperoni and, like...
We got black olives and mushrooms.
And I feel like there's 1 or 2 other kinds of meat we got on there. And then we topped it off with cheese, and then, they roast this thing in 3 minutes and send it right out to you.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, we were thinking about doing this or possibly the deluxe burger, which was right around the corner as well, or maybe doing both. And we sat down and ate the pizza, and we're like, oh, geez, we can't do more. This was too much. It was delicious.
Yeah.
Wow. Highly recommended.
Yeah, that was really good.
Past that, we just kind of walked around looking at some of the shop stuff.
Yeah, like there's some neat things to see. The coolest stuff probably for us to see was the Lego store. And the stuff around it.
Yes, because they had like a Lego Maleficent dragon fighting Prince Philip.
Yeah.
And it was like a minifig Philip, except the size that he should have been to fight the Maleficent dragon.
Yeah.
And
there was like a big
Loch Ness serpent thing.
Loch Ness serpent and like a 8-foot tall Buzz.
Yes, there was a Buzz and a Woody, and then there was a different Buzz and a Woody being propelled with the RC car guy, and there was like a Lego Hulk as well, and there was
Snow White and the 7 dwarves.
No, it was just the 5 dwarves.
Oh yeah, there was only 5 of them.
They were missing Dopey and like one of the other dwarves.
Well, because they were off somewhere else.
No, they weren't.
Weren't they?
Nope, we never found them.
No, because the 5 of the dwarves, or no, 6 of the dwarves were doing the mind stuff in their mind, and then there was another one off to the side that was Snow White kissing Dopey on top of the head.
Okay, yeah. You are right. I had forgotten. But yeah, that was all neat. And I mean, inside there was Lego stuff. Lego.
We didn't buy anything. We did buy pins while we were there.
Yes. Apparently, we didn't really realize this until like the last day.
Otherwise, I might have bought more.
Yeah.
Because I like pins. They're fun. And I really like the Disney pins. They're nice.
They're like... Anyway. But yeah, they have like these little collection pins where like you get 5 random pins out of this set and you don't know what it is until you buy it and open it up and stuff. So we got like a Disney
villains pack.
Where they're all like small and cutesy looking. And we ended up with Gaston... Queen of Hearts, Judge Frollo, Madame Mim, and
Lady Tremaine.
Lady Tremaine, which 3 out of 5 is good enough.
Yeah, it's like there are some other ones like it's like
I would have loved to get Chernabog.
If we had more spending money, I probably would have
bought another one.
Bought a few more of them and then seen if we could trade them, because that's another thing you can do at Disney is you can buy the pins and trade them with people, and which is what makes having those random packs cool, because you can get those at a pretty decent price and then trade them for stuff you like even more.
Yeah. It's like I would have loved to get a Chernabog.
Or like a Mother Gothel.
Yes.
Yeah. Where there's like Dr. Facilier and Ursula, Scar.
There were some pretty neat ones in there.
It had most of the Disney villains you can think of.
Yeah. All in like weird, cute, chibi form.
Yeah. The Gaston one's probably the cutest.
Yeah. Judge Frollo just does not look correct smiling.
He's just not cute, no matter what you do.
Nope.
Anything else at Disney Springs?
No, I mean, that's where you finally did buy your Kingdom Hearts pin.
Yeah. Was it there?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you waited until we were there.
Because I was like, oh, it's like the only real Disney World Kingdom Hearts merchandise. Because Japan doesn't really count because it had a lot of the other culture things there. So, yeah, I got that too. So those all went on my hat and I was happy.
Yup. And, yeah.
That was pretty much it then.
I think that's Disney.
It was a good trip.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was sad to come back.
If we could go back in another, like not soonish, but like in another 10 years, give them enough time to change stuff up, would you want to do it again?
Yeah, probably.
I'd love to see some of the other Disney worlds around the world.
Yes, I would love to go see, because we saw at various points in some of the other parks, they were showing off what they were planning and were doing at some of the other Disney World parks around the world.
Like Tokyo Disney and
Hong
Disney,
Kong.
I thought it was Shanghai.
And Shanghai. I don't know. There's various other
Disney
Disneys.
Paris.
It's like, I would love to go see some of these other places and see all the cool stuff they have there.
Yeah. And then, of course, I've never been to Disneyland
That's true.
in California either. So.
Well, who knows? When we live in California, we can go there.
Yeah.
When? When?
But right now, Disney World is the closest.
Which
it's
is
still
silly.
being half the United States away.
Yup.
But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything necessarily. Oh, it was funny on our plane ride home. They were playing Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah, so
that was fun.
we watched that. That was fun.
Yeah. Oh, I guess there was one, not to end on a negative note, there was one kind of negative thing about our hotel, and that was the water. And I don't know if it's just because of our hair, or if the water's just bad.
Or the shampoo.
Our hair got really bad.
Yeah, it's like, I don't do much with my hair. I literally use like a 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash thing. So I figured I'd be fine using whatever shampoo they had there. I was wrong. The water was very chlorine-y, or just like resort or city water, which just doesn't react well with my hair.
It could just very well be that, like, different water from different parts of the country affected our hair differently.
And so my hair, which is usually fairly silky, got really coarse and did not move, and it was bad.
I mean, luckily you could pull it back in a ponytail and then put your hat on and
then didn't
not
have
deal
to worry
with
about
it
it.
for the rest of the day.
But it was very nice to come home and take a shower with nice, soft country water and real shampoo, and that felt really nice.
So yeah. Oh, there was another shop, I guess, at Disney Springs where they had like the really cool things above, like in the World of Disney shop.
Oh yeah,
those were neat.
Yeah, that was neat.
Not much to say about them.
Yeah,
but
and it was like the only place you could actually get Marvel stuff was
you said
at Disney
that a couple
Springs.
of times.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been a couple of places.
Yeah, it's just kind of surprising that there's no Marvel things.
Well, I'm sure they'll integrate it in more as the years goes on.
Yeah, it's just weird because they bought Marvel before Star Wars, and Star Wars is already everywhere.
Yeah, but Star Wars was already
incredibly
a big
popular.
part of the parks, like the park history.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, like there was like Star Wars days, and like stormtroopers would go. People would go in stormtrooper outfits and like go ride the rides and such.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars culture around the Disney World Park.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we did it. We recorded everything.
We finally got through the whole vacation.
Yay!
It only took like a month after we got back.
Yay!
So I think that ends the podcast, and we did it.
Yeah, we did it. Now we can do other podcasty things, maybe.
Yeah. Tell me how you guys liked this, if you'd like us to continue doing one of these.
Yeah.
We might just do them anyway, because whatever.
Yeah, it's fun to just sit around and talk.
Yeah.
And why not record it? Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so that ends it. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.